911, what's your emergency?
The following content is graphic, emotional, and includes dark humor that may not be suitable for all listeners. Discretion is advised. These stories are based on real-life EMS, military, and healthcare experiences. Calls are real, providers are real, names and details have been changed to protect privacy. They may be disturbing to some and are definitely inappropriate for HR department. Any medical or mental health discussion is personal experience, not protocol. Use your damn brain. Follow your local guidelines, and when in doubt, call med control. If you're struggling, don't do it alone. Talk to someone, a coworker, a friend, a therapist, or hell, reach out to me. I'll answer. Need help right now? Text or call 988 or visit 988lifeline.org.
What types of grief do you think aren't really recognized as grief?
Oh, I think one of the major ones that we don't recognize, because obviously grief is mostly associated with death loss, right? The word grief, when people think of grief, they think of death, and they think of physical death. You know, but grief is all around us. If we're sensitive and open to things, it's like there's constantly losses. You know, even I mean, it's as my daughter grows up and she changes form, it's like I get sad that she's no longer making the same sounds that she was making. You know, I mean, part of her is changing, getting lost. And all these changes that we go through, there's like a grief associated with change, with any change. When you move to a new place, when a job ends, when you have to say goodbye to somebody, you know, there's just grief is around us all the time. One type of grief though that I think is specifically understood or appreciated is this idea of like anticipatory grief. The idea that, you know, if I think of, you know, you think about someone you care about, like my parents are aging and they're gonna obviously die at some point, and not accepting, pushing that away is part of the grief, or not recognizing that there's you know, not allowing myself to feel that, that we all are carrying this around with, not whether it's our parents or whether it's with our, you know, ourselves, that we're all gonna die, that there's an existential kind of like feelings we have that people walk around with that are hard to talk about, because no one wants to talk about that stuff. And keeping it in can kind of like weigh on you, especially when you have a lot of other things going on. If you're like a caregiver, um, you know, there's this anticipation toward death that is grief in advance. And we don't have to wait till after someone dies to tend to our grief. If we start tending to it now and treating it with kindness and interacting with it, it can help us metabolize, at least I believe, those losses that do happen. And it can change the way that we act now to make life better today. And it might even change the way that those losses happen, and or prolong things, you know, that otherwise wouldn't be there in certain ways. I mean, I think about just if you think about anticipatory grief and you think about, oh my gosh, is the world going to be around? Is like, what's going to happen? You know, oh my gosh, it's so scary. It's like, well, that's a lot to hold, thinking about what if all this didn't exist? It's like, well, knowing that, how do I want to live thinking that that might be a reality? It's like, what behaviors might I engage in? How might I embrace life differently if I actually took time to think that we're all going to die?
Yeah, that's actually a very deep perspective there.
That's why it's like, yeah, but we're all actually a little, you know, some piece of, maybe some people never think about this, but I think all of us kind of have these thoughts sometimes. So it's like, whoa, what do we do with that?
Very true.
If you think it's too heavy to say it anyway. It beats a eulogy. You don't have to apologize for surviving however you can. You're not the reason things are heavy. You're the reason they're still moving. Need support right now? Reach out to me. Reach out to somebody. Text or call 988 or visit 988lifeline.org. You're not alone. Not in this job, not in this fight. Want to share your story or connect? Visit critical-run.com or message the Facebook page, Dispatched and Dysfunctional. We're building this for you, for them, for all of us.